This is serious now. Carrick ignited the Carrick revolution by securing a perfect 12 points from 12 by dismantling rivals Man City at home.
It's a rip around O'Reilly. It's red!
Stunning leaders Arsenal away.
We're on the turn. What a sensational hit from Matheus Cunha!
Showing gritty resilience in a late victory over Fulham.
From Bruno Fernandes, and he's in behind, gets an early ball into the box. Šeško inside the area. Šeško at the Stretford end! Manchester United!
And a comfortable win over Tottenham.
Takes it short to Kobbie Mainoo, turns it around the corner to Brian and Mbeumo passes it into the back of the net, straight off the training ground.
In just 4 matches, United have swapped tactical chaos for a clinical, vertical masterclass.
Are Manchester United back?
From the serenity of Lamans orchestrating the first phase of play,
One up towards the back post, Luke Shaw bounces. Oh, what a save, Senna Lamans manages to get a hand to it. That is
to the commanding partnership of Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez,
in it comes, underneath the crossbar, chance here, off the crossbar, Harry Maguire.
Manchester United rediscovered defensive authority rooted in clarity and trust. In attack, Patrick Dorgu's aggressive penetrations,
Fernandes lifts it back to Patrick Dorgu, takes it with him. Dorgu's left-footed effort. Oh, it's a screamer. Patrick Dorgu pops up again.
Brian Mbeumo's explosive verticality,
Centre, finds Mbeumo in the area. Brian Mbeumo scores. That is clinical. From
Amad Diallo's fearless creativity,
right-hand side to Ahmad, corner of the penalty area. Checks onto his left foot. Brilliant left-footed effort. He's palmed away.
and Matheus Cunha's adaptive brilliance combined to form a forward line.
Chance here for Cunha! Matheus Cunha has fired!
Defined not by chaos, but by calculated intent and collective harmony. Ahead of them, Casemiro provided the positional wisdom and bite that once defined his elite years.
Dinked into the box. Casemiro! What a header from the Brazilian!
Perfectly balanced by Kobbie Mainoo's elegance, intelligence, and progressive control. Bruno Fernandes, restored as the pure conductor, dictated rhythm with vision and conviction.
Get the ball into the box. Diogo Dalot just not looking for Šeško. Turn home! Bruno Fernandes! Manchester United!
A few weeks ago, Manchester United looked like a club without an identity, trapped in a rigid tactical experiment that just wasn't clicking.
We are being the worst team, maybe, in history of Manchester United.
Fast forward to today, and the Carrick revolution isn't just a headline, it's a reality. We've seen the new manager bounce 1,000 times at Old Trafford, from the early days of old to the initial spark under Ruben Amorim. But what we are witnessing under Michael Carrick feels fundamentally different. This isn't just a burst of adrenaline, it's a tactical dismantling of the past. With back-to-back victories against Manchester City and Arsenal, and a level of control we haven't seen in years, United have swapped chaos for composure. In this video, we'll analyze Carrick revolution that proves this isn't honeymoon. It's elite coaching built to last. Is Michael Carrick the tactical savior United have been waiting for? Let's find out.
I think there is something going on in this Man United team between the way they beat Man City and they beat Arsenal. And the way they played was very convincing in a top-level game, so I must congratulate Carrick. He has created something.
To understand why Carrick is succeeding, we first have to look at what he's replaced. The Ruben Amorim era was defined by a commitment to a very specific 3-4-3 system. It was bold, but it was also rigid.
The way you set up your team is just not working. It's not creating enough wins, and people are finding it easy to play against you.
Guys, I'm not going to change. When I want to change my philosophy, I will change. If not, you have to change the man.
Players were often shoehorned into roles, like Bruno Fernandes playing deeper, or wingers forced to act as defensive wingbacks.
I was trying to press Rodri because in the first moment where I can cover both, and then because we play with the back 5 or sometimes with the back 4 or the back 3 or whatever you want to call it, you're not brave enough to do that. It's very difficult, and then they will find the spaces and the gaps to play because we're playing against a top team.
Carrick has essentially declared the death of tactical rigidity. He has reverted to a more natural 4-2-3-1, but with a modern, fluid twist. While Amorim's United often looked like they were playing by a strict script, Carrick's team plays with an ordered freedom. The data tells the story. Under Amorim, United's pass completion in the final third hovered around 74%. Under Carrick, that has surged to 78%. Why? Because the players are back in positions where they don't have to think. They can just play. Under Amorim, United's attack was suffocated by rigidity, averaging just 1.42 xG with a distant 18.4-yard shot average. They were settling for scraps. Under Carrick, that surged to 2.10 xG, while shot distance has plummeted to 14.8 yards. The 3-4-3 felt like a cage. Carrick's 4-2-3-1 feels like a platform. The numbers reveal a staggering shift in efficiency. In his final 3 games, Amorim's system stalled, securing just 5 points from a possible 9, hampered by a blunt 3.69 expected goals and a mere 12 shots on target. Enter Carrick. Against far tougher opposition, United swept a perfect 9 points. The attacking threat exploded. Goals almost quadrupled from 3 to 8. Shots on target rise to 16, and expected goals surged to 4.78. We've traded a stagnant struggle for a clinical, vertical machine that finally rewards its talent.
He's put a smile on their faces. Everybody seems to be playing with a little bit more freedom. I know this system, we all know this system didn't really suit Man United with 3 at the back. And it wasn't rocket science to change it to 4, it really wasn't.
Let's talk about the biggest tactical shift, the creation of the central trap. In the past, United's wingers stayed wide, often leaving the central midfielders isolated. Carrick has flipped this. In his defensive phase, the wingers, typically Patrick Dorgu and Amad Diallo, tuck inside significantly. This creates a compact block of 4 or even 5 players in the heart of the pitch. This central trap forces opponents to do one of 2 things: try to pass through a crowded middle or go wide. When they go wide, United's fullbacks, supported by the narrowing wingers, squeeze the space. Look at the recent Manchester derby. Erling Haaland was restricted to just 14 touches, his 4th lowest in a Premier League match. This wasn't because United parked the bus, it was because they removed the supply lines. By narrowing the support for the defensive midfielders, Carrick has made United's spine almost impenetrable. Under Amorim, United were surrendering 1.5 expected goals every single game. Under Carrick, that has plummeted to just 0.9. He hasn't just made them better to watch, he's made them 40% harder to break down.
But Man United, lads, have been absolutely outstanding on the ball and off the ball. The rotations.
One of the most surprising elements of this revolution is the Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez partnership. On paper, it's the little and large combination we've seen before, but Carrick has refined their roles. By dropping the defensive line about 5 yards deeper than Amorim did, Carrick has played to Maguire's strengths, his aerial dominance and positioning, while allowing Martinez to act as the aggresso who steps out to intercept. In the 2-0 win over City, Maguire led the team in blocks and clearances. He looks at ease for the first time in years. This isn't just about confidence, it's about protection. With the double pivot sitting right in front of them, the centre-backs aren't being left in one-on-one foot races against elite strikers. They are part of a unit. If the centre-backs are the foundation, the Casemiro-Mainu double pivot is the heartbeat of this team. We all saw Casemiro struggling last season, looking a step behind the pace of the Premier League. But under Carrick, a man who mastered the art of the holding role, Casemiro looks reborn.
Well, you got Casemiro who's announced he's leaving at the end of the season, but it looks as if he's actually happy to be there now. It looked, you know, when you think about what he's won in the game, and then he realised himself that he was struggling, but he was getting thrown under the bus.
Carrick has simplified Casemiro's job. He's no longer asked to cover massive horizontal distances. Instead, he stays central, wins his duels, and looks for the out pass. This has provided the perfect security for Kobbie Mainoo to flourish. Mainoo's metrics have skyrocketed. While he was restricted to just 1.1 successful dribbles earlier this season, he's now playing with a freedom that saw him record 3 successful take-ons in the Manchester derby alone. He's no longer just a shield, he's the engine room's primary progressor. He is the bridge between defence and attack, restored to his natural role as a deep-lying playmaker.
I like the way Cobby takes the ball after. I think there's a big part of being a footballer and being a top player is being able to cope with the environment.
Together, they've transformed United's midfield from a sieve into a shield. Casemiro's recovery stats are back to elite levels, averaging 17 recoveries in the recent game against Fulham. This isn't just a comeback, it's a masterclass in player management.
And they seem like a different team. You know, Fernandes is picking the ball up in areas he wants to, and it looks like he's controlling that midfield. You know, you've got Mainu who's come back into it. He's really, you know, amazing performances really when he hasn't played in the Premier League since probably May, isn't it?
Now, let's look at the individual rebirths across the pitch. First, Patrick Dorgu. Originally seen as a left-back, Carrick has fully committed to Dorgu as a high-impact winger. His goal at the Emirates was a testament to his new license to attack the box. He's not just holding width, he's making diagonal runs that destabilise backlines. Then there's the captain, Bruno Fernandes. Under the previous system, Bruno was often a roving 8 or even a false 9. Carrick has restored him to the pure number 10 role. Bruno has already racked up 18 goal contribution this season, with 5 of those coming in the last 4 games. He's the beating heart again. And we can't ignore the new arrivals, Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha. The data from the last 4 games is startling. Since moving into Carrick's central roaming role, Mbeumo isn't just behaving like a striker, he's producing the volume of one. He's averaging 6.4 touches in the opposition box per 90 over this run. To put that in perspective, that is the exact same frequency as Erling Haaland. United haven't just found a goal scorer, they've found a player who occupies the same high-value real estate as the best in the world. Cunha, meanwhile, has become the X-factor on the left, using his dribbling to create space for others. These aren't just good players, they are players in a system that understands their DNA. Even Amad Diallo, who was a wing-back under Amorim, is now a devastating traditional winger again, providing the balance on the right. The most impressive part of the Carrick revolution is the sustainability. This doesn't look like a team riding a wave of emotion, it looks like a team controlling the tempo. Carrick's Middlesbrough was known for being neat and tidy, and he's brought that composure to United. They aren't just winning, they are calculating their performances. They know when to press, when to sit in their trap, and when to kill the game with possession. In just a few weeks, Michael Carrick has equalled Amorim's best winning run, but he's done it against much tougher opposition. He's improved the defensive zone metrics, stabilised the midfield, and unleashed the attackers. This isn't just a new manager bounce, it's the tactical realignment of a giant. But I want to hear from you. Is Carrick the man for the long term, or should United still look for a big name in the summer? Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives.